to the Golden State Warriors News Today channel. Take the opportunity to leave that like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to today's news.
Are the Golden State Warriors ready for a bold move that could change the fate of the franchise? The search for the next great center might lead to an unexpected name, Joel Embiid. With Stephen Curry still at his peak and the championship window closing quickly, the front office could be considering a massive move to create a new Big Three and put the team back on top of the NBA. According to Eddie Bitar from Fadeaway World, the Warriors have been looking for a dominant piece since Kevin Durant's departure. And who better than the 2023 MVP to fill that void? If this trade were to happen, Embiid would bring exactly what the team needs: elite interior presence, rim protection, and the perfect pick-and-roll partner for Curry. Additionally, his ability to stretch the floor with reliable three-point shooting would add a new dimension to Golden State's offense. But what would be the price of such a risky move? Bitar suggests a trade where the Warriors would send Jonathan Kuminga, sign and trade, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, and 2 first-round picks to the 76ers. This would be a high-stakes gamble for a player who, despite his undeniable talent, has a concerning history of injuries and physical limitations. The big question for Golden State fans is it worth giving up promising young talent like Kuminga to try to win now? While some Philadelphia fans have already lost patience with Embiid, many still believe he can be the centerpiece of a championship team. But will that be with the Sixers or the Warriors? So, Warriors Nation, would you accept this trade? Drop your opinions in the comments, and don't forget, if you want to stay updated on all things Golden State Warriors, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. The possible arrival of Joel Embiid to the Golden State Warriors would certainly divide opinions among the fanbase. On one hand, we're talking about one of the most dominant centers in the NBA, an MVP who could completely transform the team's game. On the other hand, the cost of acquiring him will be high, raising concerns about roster depth and the long-term sustainability of the project. If we analyze this objectively, trading for Embiid would mean giving up Jonathan Kuminga, who has shown impressive growth and is poised to take an even bigger leap next season. Will the Warriors be willing to sacrifice that future for the present? Moreover, we cannot ignore Embiid's injury history. Last season, he played only 39 games, and his availability has always been an issue for the 76ers. Will the Warriors be ready to take the risk of investing heavily in a player who might not be available at the most crucial moments? How would Embiid fit with the Warriors? If this trade were to happen, Embiid's presence on the team would open up a vast range of offensive possibilities. Imagine an attack where Stephen Curry and Embiid execute the pick-and-roll masterfully, creating immense difficulties for any opposing defense. With his increasingly reliable three-point shot, 38.8% last season, Embiid wouldn't just dominate the paint, he would also enhance floor spacing, something fundamental in Steve Kerr's system. And on defense, Embiid would provide elite rim protection, something the Warriors have lacked in recent years. The paint, which has often been an issue against more physical teams, would receive a major upgrade. But the big question remains, would it be worth giving up Kuminga, Moody, and Podziemski for this gamble? What should the Warriors do? Golden State's front office is at a crossroads. If they choose to keep their young core, they can develop internal talent and build a competitive team for the long run. But if they decide to go all in on Embiid, they'd be taking a huge risk, but with the potential to return to the top of the NBA quickly. Either way, one thing is certain: Warriors Nation should prepare for a busy offseason, and any decision made will impact not just the next season, but the franchise's future for years to come. Now I want to hear your opinion. Would you trade Kuminga, Moody, Podziemski, and 2 first-round picks for Joel Embiid? Is the risk worth it? Drop your comment and don't forget to subscribe to Warriors News Fan Update to stay on top of all the latest news. My take as a Warriors fan. As a Warriors fan, I have to admit that this trade leaves me torn. On one hand, Joel Embiid is one of the most dominant centers in the NBA, and when healthy, he could instantly make Golden State a title contender. On the other hand, the price for this trade would be extremely high, and the risk the Warriors would be taking could jeopardize the franchise's future. The first thing that concerns me is Embiid's injury history. We're talking about a player who, since entering the NBA, has never been able to complete a full season. Last season, he played only 39 games, which means we could be investing everything in a player who might not even be available when we need him most, during the playoffs. Another thing that worries me is potentially losing Jonathan Kuminga. This kid has insane potential, and we saw last season that he's ready to take a big leap. If the Warriors truly believe in him, then it's worth investing in his development rather than sending him to another team and risking watching him explode as a star elsewhere. Now, if we look at the positives, imagine an offense with Embiid and Curry. It would be nearly impossible to defend. Embiid has a reliable three-point shot, dominates the paint, and can facilitate the game for his teammates. Additionally, the Warriors' defense would gain an elite rim protector, something we've lacked in recent years. But here's the big question. Do the Warriors need to go all in right now, or can they continue developing their young core? I believe the team still has a lot of internal potential to explore. Kuminga, Podziemski, and Moody are players who can grow alongside Curry and become key pieces in the coming years. If we trade all of them for Embiid, he can't stay healthy. This deal could end up being one of the biggest mistakes in franchise history. So my take as a fan, I wouldn't make this trade. Yes, Embiid is incredible, but the risk is too high. If the Warriors want another center, they can look for cheaper options without mortgaging the team's future. The ideal move would be to keep strengthening the roster without sacrificing such promising pieces. And what about you, Warriors Nation? Should we risk everything for Embiid or trust the development of our young talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Warriors News Fan Update so you don't miss any updates.